folks. This is Lose Control every Wednesday between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. only on 93.3 CFMU. As I mentioned, it shocked me when I heard about it because Mike Dent and I were just talking about Nash Slash Thursday night at the Teenage Head Show. And I found out early Monday morning that my friend Nash Slash had passed away at the age of 66. So we're going to spend a lot of music from Nash today. And we're going to hook up with one of his oldest friends from Toronto. He's a filmmaker who's worked with people like Bruce McDonald in movies like Highway 61 as well as Roadkill. He's also the man who's responsible for The Last Pogo as well as the reissue of The Last Pogo, Jumps Again. So Colin Brunton is going to be joining us at 3:30. And now chance to introduce my gents, my team.
What's up, Lou?
How are you, gentlemen?
How you doing, buddy?
Manolis is here as well as Gavin and Ben. Ben just
crushed my thumb.
Just crushed your thumb just a few minutes ago, right before the show.
Not very good at living.
What a way to start, man! These dark clouds, eh?
Yeah. Manolis is looking after me.
I know.
Manolis he's got a tender heart.
I know he sure does.
Thanks, pal.
No problem. I thought he was going in Sandeep's sushi box because it looked like he had one of those sushi takeout containers. But
no, Manolis got me a Band-Aid and an ice pack.
I don't like people in pain. I don't want you. Yeah. Your pain is my pain.
Wow. We'll have to find out about his weekend.
Why are you looking at me like that for?
No, I don't care about you.
Yeah, Gavin was just, when the whole thumb thing went down, Gavin was just checking Instagram. I took a picture. I took a picture of my thumb and posted it to Instagram and tagged Gavin in it so he knew what was going on in the room.
Oh, that's what's happening. That's the only way I'll know. That's the only way I get my information.
Gavin, this is what's happening next. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
That's how I know.
But Manolis turned into Florence Nightingale, right? And saved you. Yeah. Nice one.
I don't know.
Do you need a Band-Aid? No, I don't need a Band-Aid. I'm getting you a Band-Aid.
Yeah. I want to take care of you. I don't like seeing you in pain.
That was nice.
Yeah. Our friend Rob Sweeney's going to join us, or no, he's not going to join us, but he does join us every week by giving us the MP3 of the week. And this one's a classic from, out of all places, Kansas. And, I just learned about this.
How does he think of these songs?
I don't know. That's what makes him like one of the most definitive musicologists.
Yeah.
He is. He's like,
that's 52 songs a year, really.
Yeah.
And they're always unique and they're always good.
Yeah.
And they're always something that, you might not know.
He was pillar to me because, when I grew up, I always liked going to the record store because he was there, right? He was a cool guy, but he always listened to cool music. And so anytime I had money to go buy records as a kid, Robbie would always say, yeah, buy this one. Or if I would have to say, which one would you put back?
Yeah.
You could rely on his judgment for that, right?
Yeah.
And I think, one of the reasons why I am who I am, at least musically, is because of a lot of the stuff that Robbie taught me over the years. So this is like an ongoing thing. So every time he sends me an MP3, if I'm not familiar with it, I always try to do some research on it.
He's in your band too, right?
Yes. You remember Sweeney?
Yeah, Sweeney. So does he help? I don't know what?
Why'd you call him Sweeney?
That's his name.
Because last week Manolis decided to put the sh.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Sweeney. You see? Rob Sweeney and his MP3 in a week.
Yeah, he turned into W.C. Fields. Oh, yeah.
Hey, he's got a great taste, see?
Yeah. Look what he did to my friend Lou.
It's only a matter of time before you guys start doing Morrissey.
It's not 4 o'clock yet.
Morrissey. It's me, Morrissey. Did you hear I put out a new song? It's the most boring song ever. Did you see Morrissey actually put out a song? I did see I put out a song.
These boys in Hamilton talk about me every Wednesday. I'm really getting fed up with it.
Morrissey put out a new song yesterday, I think.
Oh, I just saw a picture.
And so did Body Count. Remember Body Count?
No way! Please tell me what.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
I'm so curious.
I
heard it's the worst thing to ever happen to me.
Actually, Body Count were one of the bands that I thought totally rocked it out.
What?
I went to a Lollapalooza.
It's like KKK, bitch. There goes the neighborhood.
They were just really heavy. Like
there's an awesome drink. Cop Killer, better you than me. There's a wicked drinking game that Jimbo from the Dayglow Abortions taught me called Body Count. And you listen to Body Counts in the house. And you drink every time they say body count. And if you can make it to the end of the song.
Oh, wow.
Because the whole song is body counts in the house, body count. Body counts in the house. And then I don't know if you want to include the whole 8 bars. He just goes, BC.
But even when he's talking in the background, you're body count.
Body count.
Body count.
Yeah, MF'er. Yeah. Body count. Body count.
Can you imagine? No, guys. I'm going to write the lyrics for this one.
Yeah, I got this one.
I saw Body Count back in the day.
Well, that's what I was saying. I saw them. I went to a Lollapalooza, I think 90, 91. Oh, yeah, I think it was 91.
What's your favorite Body Count song? There Goes the Neighborhood, probably?
I don't know.
There Goes the Neighborhood!
They were just part of the bill, and I didn't know anything about them.
Sorry.
I didn't know that Ice-T was in the band, right?
You know what? I thought Jimi Hendrix did a good Hey Joe till I heard Body Count do it.
No.
Did you ever hear that?
No.
On Born Dead, which was the name of Body Count's second record.
Okay.
I don't
think I have. Maybe I have and I forgot about it.
It definitely wasn't as popular as the self-titled release, but they cover Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's,
I like Ice-T, though.
I like Ice-T, too. Who doesn't like Ice-T?
He's a good actor.
He's a great... New Jack Hustler, New Jack City.
I like Ice-T.
Good. You have to like him.
No, I don't.
Why does Gavin have to like him?
Back to where you're from and your roots. You have, like, Manolis figures. Any Greek person Manolis has to like because he's Greek.
So, do you like My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yeah,
that movie?
loves it.
It's like
Vidalos.
It's mandatory that it's in every Greek family's house, like the movie.
Yeah.
Is
it?
Yeah. It's like the Bible. It's more important than the Bible.
Yeah.
He loves Tony Savalas, right?
Kelly Savalas?
Yeah, both. I like them both.
Yeah, you like them.
The salad.
Yeah, he likes the salad.
So the Sweeney guy.
Yeah.
My question is,
he likes bum sex.
You like Mr. Greek, right?
We invented it, man. We invented plumbing.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
You invented plumbing?
Greeks invented plumbing.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
Yeah.
So of course we were going to invent bum sex.
Wow. I don't know how that segued from that to that.
I threw the bum sex.
It's plumbing.
Yeah, it is plumbing.
It's still plumbing.
Okay, so what were you going to ask about Sweeney?
So does he...
It's like a genital enema.
Yeah, oh God.
Do you think... I didn't invent these things, man. I'm just part of it.
Yeah. You just pass on the tradition. Anyways, what were we going to ask?
Does Sweeney help, when you're making your album then, and say you got 20 songs and you got to do 12 on your CD, is he the one that decides what?
No, Andy Chernoff did.
Oh, Andy Chernoff decided what not to
put
on
on the short
album?
list, yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
Hopefully mid to late July.
Okay.
Who's putting it out? How are you putting it out?
I think we're going to put it out, and we're...
Is it time to start this ain't Hollywood Records, or what?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to talk
That's
to
not a bad idea, actually.
Lose Control Records.
Lose Control Records. We'll sign stuff on air.
Literally on air.
Funny. That's funny. Anyways, we're delighted that Colin Brunton's going to be joining us. I figured that you guys would be happy as well because you guys are film buffs. A man who was responsible for The Last Pogo, as I mentioned, as well as The Last Pogo Jumps Again. Part of Roadkill with Bruce McDonald, Highway 61, two movies that both featured Nash doing the movie soundtrack for. And what we're going to do, as I said at the beginning, we're going to continue paying tribute to Nash Slash, who passed away.
Did Nash score those movies, or did they just use pre-existing?
They had music, but as an official soundtrack. But he did the score.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Right. We're going to continue on with more music from Nash Slash here on 93.3 CFMU. .93.3 CFMU. The music of Nash the Slash from his second release called Dreams and Nightmares. Both of them were featured on his own label entitled Cutthroat Records. The first one was an EP, 4 songs, and the second one, which you just heard a track from, I believe had 10. But both of them were all instrumental. He didn't start singing till the Children of the Night, which we're going to spend a little later on during the show. In a few minutes, we're going to hook up with Colin Brunton. We're going to talk about Nash the Slash. I was, I think, 15 years old. Again, just being one of those products from Star Records, from going to a record store and learning about a thing called the Star Club. And I remember seeing this record with this guy all dressed in gauze and thinking, okay, this is weird. And buying it, not knowing what to expect, but I just thought the actual record cover itself looked pretty interesting, not really knowing too much about the artist. Picking it up and not sure if I liked it or not. It was just very different than anything else I ever heard, right? Sure. So it was like, ooh, I don't know. It doesn't sound like the Ramones. It doesn't sound like the Dictators, but it had its own sort of uniqueness to it. But I did find that there was little things that I recognized, like the the drum machine that had these really interesting little beats to it that I hadn't heard in other records. I later found out, just doing some research, that Nash was the first artist that ever used a drum machine in Canada on any recording. So I think that's kind of interesting as an electronic pioneer.
Canadian pioneer.
Did he always wear the
He's a
gauze?
pioneer, eh?
Did he always wear the gauze?
Yeah.
He not at the very beginning.
Yeah.
He wore the gauze after 3 Mile Island happened, with the nuclear incident that happened there, and I guess he dressed up wearing gauze with phosphorus green paint on it, and the shtick was, this is what 3 Mile Island did to me. Kind of thing, right?
Okay.
So, and then I guess it was the birth of his stage appearance, and he never performed without it since, right?
Huh.
So I think the early part definitely he did it without the gauze.
Now you said before the show that you timed him, you clocked him doing
The last time he was at this ain't Hollywood, because I'm goofy about things. You know how some things just really you're a fan. I was in the green room. He says, "Okay, I'm going to get ready." And I timed him on my phone, and it was like somewhere between 7 and 8 minutes it took him to put his gauze on. He was out in less than 8.
How much did he cover? His head and his hands? No, I guess not his hands.
I think, no, he just covered his head primarily, but he always wore like a very formal white shirt, always a tuxedo jacket and a top hat. But early on he dressed up like a biker, and with a leather jacket and a biker's hat.
What? I don't even know what he looks like without the bandage. What?
Well, you want to hear? Okay, this is a funny story. So this is. I'm really going to fast forward a few times before we talk to Colin Brunton, because then it's all about Colin's experience with Nash. But okay, so I guess 79. I'm pegging that year as the year that I went to see him. I was too young, and I had to stay by the door in the front entrance of the Italian Club, which was the home of the some of the Star Club shows early on, and. All of us young underagers were allowed to stay right by the lobby in the front just to take a peek. And I remember watching Nash to Slash, and again thinking, holy, this is really weird, because it wasn't things that even, like, I don't even think he sang anything other than just playing instrumental music, right? So it was kind of really artsy.
What year is this? Sorry?
79.
79.
So I
was a baby.
I went out and I bought his other record only because I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting. So I bought his full-length record, and then just started making.
Is that what he looks like?
Is that him?
Yeah,
okay, cool. So then I started, listening to it and realizing that there's this whole little electronic thing that was happening with other music, and realized that, wow, Nash had been doing his own sort of style of it even earlier than a lot of these electronic guys. So mid-90s, I'm at an East End bar in Toronto, Strattinger's. A few of us were actually on the beaches. Okay, and then we ended up going for some reason at Strattinger's. I was wearing a Kinks t-shirt. You know how you don't forget certain things? This is what I don't forget. I was wearing a Kinks t-shirt. I think it was the Word of Mouth tour, like 85, 86 tour that I was wearing. I walked in, and some guy goes, "Hey, nice t-shirt. Are you a fan of the Kinks?" And I, started talking to him, and I said, "Yeah, I love the Kinks." And back and forth discussion, back and forth. I'm realizing, okay, here's an older guy drinking a bottle of blue.
Yeah.
And we get talking, and I said, "Why do you like the Kinks?" He's like, "Oh man, I love the Kinks." And he started talking about all these songs and all these B-sides and all these other rarity songs. So it was like, wow, this guy's a fan. I discovered after, as we do an introduction, he says, "My name is Nash." And I said, "Oh, cool. What do you do?" And he says, "I'm a musician." And I said, "Oh, cool. Like, what kind of music do you do?" And he says, "Well, I do electronic music." And I said, "Nash, like as in Nash to Slash?" And he says, "Yeah." And I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "I could be Nash to Slash." No one knows who Nash to Slash is, right? Anyone can say they're Nash to Slash because we don't know what the guy looks like, right? So he says, "No, man." He's like, so I kind of threw that out there just to see if he could validate it. But although I realized that it was him, right?
Yeah.
So we just kept on we kept on talking about different music and different bands and stuff like that, and it resulted. This is even before I had a computer. Wow, Nurse Annie.
Seriously.
And a coffee. Manolis just showed up with a cup full of ice for my thumb.
Before there was a computer or anything, we kept in contact via telephone. So I had Nash's phone number, and we kept in contact back and forth, and we didn't stop keeping in contact, right? So my very first date with Lynn was at a Motorhead show to see Nashville Pussy. Nash is hanging out with us.
Yeah, and you landed her.
And so,
did you bone that night?
No, I drove back to Kitchener.
No boning after the Motorhead.
No, Lemmy tried to pick up Lynn.
Did he?
Yeah, that was the night when
and Lemmy failed. I've never heard of Lemmy failing.
Oh no, Lemmy didn't fail. Lynn failed.
Oh,
because what had happened? Okay, so anyways,
so was Lynn like Lou? This is a great date, but I'm gonna go bone Lemmy.
No, it didn't even go there. No, I need that bake for my records.
Thanks for
No, that's fine. I got another one here. I got another one here. Have
put
that
ice
one.
in the bag, and you put your thumb around the ice.
All right,
in the bag.
So when we're there in the afternoon, we're hanging out there the whole afternoon. I interviewed Lemmy for my radio show that I had at Indy, right? So Nash Slash was saying,
Lemmy?
I interviewed Lemmy. I had a Bryant's 4-track recorder with me, and I interviewed Lemmy with Nash Slash backstage, Lynn, and me. So we're talking about Hawkwind, and we knew that.
What?
Yeah. Oh no, it was crazy. It was.
Do you still have that?
I have it on cassette.
Man, we should play that on the show sometime.
Yeah.
When's Lemmy's birthday?
It's in Oshawa, but I definitely have a box full of cassettes.
You should just, the next time you got to pre-record a show, just play that. Unedited.
I'll have to find it. It was pretty amazing. So,
totally.
Anyways, the cool thing about it is that it's getting time now that Motorhead's just getting ready to go for sound check. This is how early during the day it was, right? So we said, okay, we'll stick around. After the sound check, we were going to go grab something to eat. And we said to Lemmy, do you want to join us? And he was he was really impressed with Nash because Nash gave him a record and he's like, who the hell? Who's that bugger on the
cover?
On the cover, right? And Nash said, "That's me." And he's like, "Really?" So they, it really kind of intrigued Lemmy. You could tell that he was like, interesting, right? Yeah. So we're getting ready to go grab a bite to
cool
eat.
looking.
Totally, very iconic. So we're getting ready to go out for dinner, and we said to Lemmy, "Do you want to join us?" And he said, "No. I either eat or I drink, but I don't do both." He says, "I've already started drinking." Lemmy said that.
Really?
Yeah, which was such a great line. It's like, oh, what a great line. I eat or I drink, but I don't do both.
I think, what do you think the theory behind that is? I have an idea.
So he doesn't pass out. He doesn't get into a food coma. And
I kind of do the same thing, man.
Yeah?
Like I'll have lunch and then I feel like I won't eat dinner if I know I'm going out drinking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I try to save the eating for the end of the night.
Sure.
So you can pass out.
So
that's when I save the weeding.
So after we come back from dinner,
by that I mean marijuana.
One of the guys backstage notices again and goes right over to Lynn and says, "Quickly, Lemmy's looking for you. Come back here. Come on, come, quick." Mm-hmm. And so poor Lynn's running in the back. We're running behind her, not knowing what's going on. He's as we're running, this guy's saying to Lynn, "Lemmy's been asking about you ever since the sound check's over." He's looking for you. So we go into this room, and Lemmy now has this other lady sitting on his lap, and looks at Lynn and says, "Darling, what good are you to me now?"
Really?
Yeah.
We already started drinking.
I thought, okay, that's like one of the greatest rock and roll moments.
Yeah, he just found a new one.
"Darling, what good are you to me now?"
I don't want to embarrass a friend of mine, but Jimbo Jack, the day close, his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, like when Lemmy was in town, she'd just be like, "Hey, sorry, I'm Lemmy's girlfriend when he's in town, babe."
Wow.
And so you'd always be like, it's kind of hard to hate Lemmy, but she's like,
she said that to him?
Yeah, that was the deal.
That was
wow. Well, let's hear it for open relationships, right? An open and honest.
Well, they weren't. It was just like, hey, if you're getting into this, just so you know, when Lemmy's in town, I'm his girlfriend.
Whoa, that was it's pretty awesome that she was that honest.
Girl?
What's that?
How good was this girl?
I never met her actually, but he told I was partying with him, and he was like, he was not okay with it. You know what I mean? Like he was as okay as he could be with it. Yeah. But like he was partying hard, like hitting the bottle because he knows his lady was getting dinked by Lemmy. And who can top Lemmy, man? The guy wrote, it's Lemmy.
Yeah,
right.
I know. So fast forward to the Corktown. I had the opportunity of booking Nash at the Corktown. Fast forward to other venues that I was working with. I got him to perform there. And then when we got into this in Hollywood, we were lucky to have him there as well. And we were getting ready to do a follow-up show with him in 2012, and he said he was not going to do any more. I know he was suffering with a sciatic problem at the time. He said that was becoming very painful for
Nash?
him. Yeah. But he was also really disillusioned with the way everything was going with, everything being downloaded. He said that particular thing right there really hurt him financially. He said prior to that, he said, everybody's making no money out of this right now, where Nash was a product of someone who actually made money the old way and kind of like, the true way of selling music instead of like just downloading it and promoting it. And his whole argument was you can promote a person as much as you want, but if you're giving their music for free, they're not buying anything. Right. And you're just going to get a routine of just listening to
But he didn't subscribe to the mindset that downloading helps ticket sales?
Well, you know what? I think he was in the mindset that he was getting to a point that he couldn't do many shows anymore.
Right. So age was in I see.
As well as the fact that he wasn't feeling that well. So here, this is what we're going to do. We're running about 5 minutes late. We're going to hook up with Colin Brunton. We're going to spin another song from Nash / from Dreams and Nightmares. And when we return, we'll talk to a gentleman who worked with Nash since the early 70s and hung out with him as well. You're listening to Lose Control on 93.3 CFMU. .93.3 CFMU, music there from Nash / from Dreams and Nightmares. You heard The Chase. It is 3:40. On the phone with us right now is the one and only Mr. Colin Brunton. Colin, thank you so much for taking time and talking to us today.
No problem, Lou.
I wish it was under happier circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a real shock to get that news on Monday morning.
Please say hi to my co-hosts here, Gavin, Ben, and Manolis.
Hello. Hello. Hi, man. How are you?
Good.
Colin Brunton, Canadian filmmaker, as well as producer and music fan and close friend of Nash / when did you first meet him?
I met Nash probably, over 40 years ago. I worked at the Gary Topp's original 99-cent Roxy Theater when I was about 17. And Nash used to hang out there and eventually lived above the theater. And he was just one of the regulars there and a good friend of Gary Topp.
He was definitely a film buff. When I first got to talk to him and know him, I kind of got lost with a lot of his name drops on a film basis because it was something that I really wasn't familiar with. But I remember, afterwards just being very acquainted with a lot of his film references and all of them being sort of references that the true diehard film aficionados really looked up to.
Well, you should have hung out at the Roxy Theater more, Lou. That's where we all got our countercultural education,
You guys wouldn't have wanted to hang out with like a 7-year-old Italian boy from Oshawa.
Oh, maybe.
Sickos, yeah. Were you acquainted with his musical influences and styles at all back then?
Sort of. I mean, he was very opinionated guy about music. I remember him telling me when we ended up at the New Yorker, when Gary got the New Yorker, Nash was the manager for the first year. I was his assistant. And I remember him, just being convinced that there was actually no real rock and roll bands left in the United States. And I'd rhyme off a couple of names. No, they're not rock and roll. It's like, but he was on a mission, He wanted to do something new and huge, and try as he might, he did some amazing stuff, but it, financially, I guess never paid off for the guy.
Although one thing was that he did nothing but be Nash / his whole career.
Yeah, well, when I first saw him, one of the first live shows at the Roxy was a band called Breathless.
Right, with Michael White.
Yeah, and Jeff was the violinist. He would breathe fire. His amp, I mean, even back then, he had so much panache, He had this amplifier on stage that looked like a 1950s radio dial radio, and I just remember they had this huge sound, and that's when I first saw him perform. And then I guess it was 74 maybe. I was working there, and he did his live soundtrack to Un Chien Andalou. And, we had like this packed audience of 700 people, and there was Nash, and he set up in front of the left-hand aisle, and he had candelabras set up, and I believe he wore his top hat, and he had all these real tape machines, and it was so far ahead of its time. I mean, people back then didn't even know how to do a loop, and he did all this stuff live, and he'd create these bed tracks and then play his violin or mandolin over top of it. And I remember when the movie's only a short film, right? When it was over, I mean, I remember looking at the audience and people's jaws were literally dropped. They couldn't believe it. And this guy came up later and saying, "Oh man, he helped me understand that movie." He was very much a cinematic guy in his style and his influences and stuff. And I was lucky enough to get him to do a few soundtracks on projects I did.
How was it working with Nash on a musical basis?
Oh, it was brilliant. I mean, the first thing we did was a short film I did called The Trip Around Lake Ontario, and he was explaining all the musical motifs that were going to go through it, which, he helped me understand. And, he just created this beautiful score along with Peter Metler's, photography and David McFadden's words. It was great, When I made The Mysterious Moon Men of Canada a couple of years later, I totally ran out of money, and I didn't know what I was going to do for the score, and I actually phoned him and said, "Nash, do you think we could play the soundtrack to Ontario backwards? Maybe that would work." And he just kind of laughed, and we tried it, and he goes, "No, this isn't working." So I had to go elsewhere.
One thing about Nash Slash was that he definitely was a music fan, and I know he definitely enjoyed the whole aspect of searching for interesting music as opposed to just typically listening to, I guess, commercial radio or whatever. But the other thing is that he was definitely a commercial music fan as well. Like when he did covers, like, he chose covers that we were all sort of familiar with, but he sort of put that definite Nash tinge to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nobody sounded like the guy, right? Like nobody sounded like him. So, you could play any of his tunes, and if you're a fan of his, that's Nash the Slash. He put his own, special mark on everything he did, I think.
How did he fit in with the punk crowd, considering what was going on with bands like Teenage Head and the Vile Tones and the Curse?
Well, really, really well. Like, he fit right in. He was like, it's funny, because back then, if you're a couple of years older than 23, 25, you were kind of like this older guy. So I think he was kind of seen like that, but he was highly respected by everybody. He was an icon, right? He was a trailblazer. He had his own label. He had his own little mini studio. He did stuff that people didn't do, and so he was totally accepted by that crowd. And it was funny because he had such an awesome stage presence, and it's like, you'd see all these punk bands playing at the Horseshoe and stuff, and then, dressed however. And there's Nash, with his white tuxedo and hat and wailing away. He was actually supposed to play with Teenage Head the night of the last Pogo, but he had gotten angry a couple of weeks before and punched his wall at his flat above the Roxy and didn't hit drywall. He hit cement instead and broke his violin or mandolin and his hand, and so he wasn't at that show. It was unfortunate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So funny because he was known for having a bit of a temper.
Yeah, he was an opinionated guy. He was very opinionated, and I'd see his face turn bright red many times when he'd get. If there's one word to describe the guy, apart from how creative and singular he was and original, was enthusiastic.
Yeah, he sure was.
You just thought his head was going to explode when he got onto certain topics, and very smart. I remember him telling me about the Sex Pistols' first album. It's like, this album's great, but the third album is going to be the best. And of course, they never did a third album.
I remember,
which is for the best.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I remember going to see The Residents with Nash the Slash at the Phoenix, and what was really interesting was how many people, and you got to think this is really sort of like 98, 99, how many people at the time still with the old school cameras, how many people were taking pictures of Nash. It was amazing. It was like he was like a celebrity.
Yeah, well, he was. And it's like, it's just
and he was
odd
dressed up,
because-
folks, as Nash the Slash. It's just not that he went as his regular Joe.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, he got
Right.
dressed up as Nash the Slash.
Oh, he was too much, man. I mean, it's unfortunate. He's just but he's one of those people from like the early mid-70s that was very original, very influential, very talented, and really was part of that then counterculture that, created this new Toronto. And just unfortunately, all those people are still, not really recognized,
Colin, were you in contact with Nash when he got the big break opening up for Gary Newman and then Iggy Pop and then the Who?
Oh, yeah. It was exciting times for the guy. Yeah, it was great. I mean, he was on tour for the longest time. I go see him once in a while. I hadn't actually seen him since 2012, I guess, before I got the bad news this weekend.
I remember we were trying to book a show for Nash for a follow-up show that he did, and I remember he sent me an email, and I think I still may have it, where he was just saying, that's it. I'm calling it quits. I'm going to put an announcement on my Facebook page or on my website. I'm going to take down my website, and and sure enough, he did. But from time to time, I always went on thinking maybe he's just going to simmer down, and maybe he'll have some second thoughts about it. But he made that call and he stuck to it. There's that sort of very sort of iconic messages where he was going to roll up the bandages.
Yeah, him and the Ramones, right? Like once they said it was over, it was over. It was unlike that band in England, the Who, Well, I think I saw their first reunion tour like in the mid-70s or something. But no, he stuck to his guns, man. He went out. I think he was, I don't know if he was bitter like he might have been. I know he was fed up. Just the whole thing about how, you couldn't make, you couldn't not make money. Like you couldn't get paid for art because everyone steals it off the internet,
Yeah.
And I think he was happy, at the end. He liked to do his gardening and golf and stuff like that. It's just unfortunate that, like so many people, so many artists in Toronto, if we were New York or London, he could have been huge, right? But we're Toronto and we continue to eat our young. Kills me on Monday, like I kept phoning a lot of people that day and was like talking about it and remembering him and like trying to find out what really happened. And we don't really know yet, but and I'm driving home and I've got 680 News on, the news station, and, they have their entertainment section. I'm listening to it thinking, okay, well, I guess they'll say something, and it's Rudy Blair from 680 News. And
That's a really good Rudy Blair.
Rudy Blair, well, he's talking about how the American Idol or Canadian Idol formatting thing was going to change, and it fucking came on, it came on like 3 or 4 times the next 2 hours, like Rudy Blair talking about American Idol, or the next day about, Solange, smacking Jay-Z in an elevator. It's like,
who cares?
Jesus, who cares? Like, I know that's what the majority of people might want to hear or you think they're interested in, but there's more interesting stuff going on, and he was a Toronto. He was an icon.
Yeah, he sure was, Colin, and I completely agree with you. And I always think that until we get past that step, I think the whole industry is just still going to stay stagnated. It's like until we're able to get some sort of savvier influence into these corporate and commercial media streams, where they're going to name drop Nash the Slash the moment they find out, because they realize how important he is as a Canadian iconic figure. I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to I'm going to tell you mine first. My experience. One of the funniest things I remember about Nash the Slash, tell me again before he was getting ready for his show, is he was polishing his shoes. And I said to him, "Well, that's interesting." I said, "It is important for you to have polished shoes, clean shoes before you go on stage." He said, "Well, when I was opening up for Gary Newman's mom and dad used to, I guess, go on a lot of tours with them." Because Gary was still so young. And Mrs. Newman would say, "Nash, don't forget to polish your shoes before you go on stage, because you should always have polished shoes before you go on stage."
Really?
Yeah.
Cute.
And it's just such a goofy thing, but it's, the way he tells it with the English accent and everything was just beautiful. Do you have a favorite moment or a memory?
Boyhood. I mean, watching him do Enchandelot was pretty amazing, but I think, just hanging out with him for a year or so at the New Yorker when we managed the place for Gary, we had so much fun there. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like, I put this in my blog. It's like, we had a system for a while. Like once we got the audience settled, we'd take turns, having a couple of puffs of weed in the basement, then go on a fun land across the street, play pinball for an hour, come back, okay, it's your turn, Colin. And just just running that, helping run that theater with him was, he's so smart, creative, funny. It's a blast.
Yeah.
He's also very proud of the fact. I remember when he wasn't making a lot of money in the earlier days, he had a day job as a glazier, which he actually thought was kind of trippy. I think that was his exact words to me. I put windows in for people. It's kind of cool. I remember him being very proud of the fact that he always had 3 square meals. Says,
right.
No matter what, I always have 3 square meals a day.
And you know what? To a lot of people, that's a successful day.
Yeah,
and that's maybe a great way, a healthy way of looking at it without stressing, yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a green light to minimalism and reality.
Yeah.
And it was certainly reflected in his music too.
Yeah, absolutely.
May he rest in peace. Colin, thank you so much for taking time and talking to us today. If people want to learn more about you, is there a website or a blog or something that you can direct us to? I
got the lastpogo.net.
And that is, how about on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook as well, so cool. I'm a slut for friends on Facebook. So anyone who wants to friend me, I'm easy. You know what? I just learned you were a former cabbie in Toronto. Oh yeah, for many years, man. For over 10 years, I did drove Beck cab.
Wow.
Yeah.
416-751-5555.
That's right.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Colin.
You too.
Here's to Nash.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Folks, here's the music of Nash Slash on 93.3 CFMU.
It's almost time.
93.3 CFMU, music from Nash Slash from And You Thought You Were Normal, with a song called Vincent's Crows, sending that out to Mr. Colin Brutton, who was kind enough to talk to us this afternoon. What a cool guy, eh?
Yeah, man, that was really cool.
Yeah, man. Anytime I hang out with Colin, I kind of get tongue-tied and have these little goosebumps because I really respect the work that he does, right? And he was just, to me, I think, another pioneer that was just smart enough, as simplistic as it is. It's like, I'm going to take this camera to this punk rock show and then have this iconic documentary, that still is raved about from the music community 25, 30 years later, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, such a cool guy, and it just makes sense that he would have hung out with a guy like Nash Slash early on and with everything that they've did. How's your thumb?
It's painful and bleeding through the Band-Aid.
Wow. It's going through it? You should change it. Oh, it's not that bad.
Manolis.
It's not that bad.
You could,
It's still going through. You're going to have to change it at some point.
Could you be more monotone when you say that to him?
Sorry, I'm just tired.
You know what?
He's tired of talking about my thumb.
You could change it.
He wants more. It's something exciting.
You could change it.
Well, let's talk about Gavin during the song was raising. Manolis brought in this old wrestling figure of Adrian Adonis.
Yeah.
We're going to take pictures soon. And
Gavin... Yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Cool.
But Gavin was saying how homophobic, his whole thing was he was just a gay guy and people hated him. Wait, was he really gay in real life?
He was the original Gold Dust.
Yes, he was the original Gold Dust. But before he used to be like a tough biker guy, which was gay
with Jesse the Body Ventura.
That's right.
Yeah,
and then he was he used to be a bodybuilder. He used to be in great shape, and then he became Adrian Adonis, and his whole thing was that everyone was homophobic.
But that old wrestling, it was all, in retrospect, like the whole Iron Sheik gimmick, it's super racist and stuff. It's all racist and it's homophobic and
Well, those guys are legit tough guys. Iron Sheik's legit tough guy.
Yeah, I know for sure. But they're just okay, you're the Russian and everyone's gonna hate the Russian and you're the,
It played up on real anger in people.
There's a funny.
It's just far less PC than what happened today.
Well, I watched WrestleMania 3, the one where they did in 3 different coasts.
Yeah. I saw that in Hamilton.
Okay, did you?
That's the one when Hogan had the bandages, right?
Yes, against King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the Cops Coliseum.
And they Roddy Piper's
First Nation,
racist.
whatever it's called now, First
Union Center.
First Union Center. Insurance Center.
I was called the First Nation Center.
First Union. And then Roddy Piper's racist as hell in that.
Was he?
Yeah, he's racist as hell. Just blatantly racist.
Roddy Piper's the first bad guy that you kind of liked.
Oh, yeah, I really liked him in They Live.
Yeah, he was awesome in They Live.
Yeah.
Ric Flair. was.
I hate Ric Flair.
I loved Ric Flair, man.
Hate him.
There's something about him that.
But him and Steamboat matches were some of the best matches ever.
Sure, they were. If you YouTube Marty Jannetty talking about the Iron Sheik, there's a great interview talking about how the Iron Sheik had to take out Marty Jannetty's girlfriend because Marty was seeing this other lady, and they were in the hometown where Marty lived, and I guess Marty went out with this other girl, so the Iron Sheik was responsible for just taking care of Marty's girlfriend for the evening. Marty's girlfriend thought that Marty Jannetty had something else to do, right?
Yeah.
So the Iron Sheik took her out for dinner. Marty's in this hotel room discreetly with this other girl. The Iron Sheik knocks on the door. Marty, open up. Marty, it's me. And so Marty's like, Sheik, what's going on? And in the meantime, he hears there's sirens that are going and going, oh, Marty, trouble. I guess he's explaining that during the whole course of the evening, she's going on talking, oh, I really miss Marty. And so the Iron Sheik says, I bought you dinner, I bought you drinks, I paid for your whole evening. And then I guess he clotheslined her and knocked her out.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the ambulance came, the police came. The Sheik had to pretend that he didn't do anything, right? So but he told Marty what happened. But I guess he's like, he had enough of hearing about Marty, so he clotheslined her because he was the one that was paying for all the dinner and drinks.
Yeah, but he was on crack and stuff. Not that it's an excuse. But he was
just not a.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't there,
not
man.
that that's an excuse.
Not that it's an excuse.
But he was on crack, so.
Well, there's a lot of crackheads that don't hit women.
Yeah.
And how's this a segue to Nash the Slash? Because he was a wrestling fan too.
Great.
He was a huge wrestling
was he?
fan. Yeah, huge.
It looks like because he's got a gimmick and everything.
For sure. I think that was part of the connection to it because he was a big fan of the wrestling.
Yeah, and he lived it. He's very Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. At first, I have to admit, I thought maybe it could have been a gimmick. Maybe with the fact that, he was just I don't know. It was just too surreal. I didn't think that it actually happened. At first I thought, is he trying to pull a fast one on us here? But then once media picked up on it and realized that, it was valid, it was like, oh man. And like I said, I took records out to listen to them and I couldn't. I had to put them back because I just thought it was, sometimes when the reality was just 24 hours ago he was alive and now 24 hours later, you're listening to your music of a friend who passed away. It's just bizarre. When was the
last time you talked to him?
I talked to him about a year ago. Okay. I tried. I said, I know you're still in retirement, but how about another shot at it? And he's like, no, I'm done.
He influenced a lot of people. There's a lot of what are electronic artists that they probably don't even know they're influenced by him.
There's a guy in 1993 who's known as an angry poet named Thomas Anderson. He sounds like Michael Stipe. I have this song called Whatever Happened to Nash the Slash, and it's a guy from Texas that wrote a song in 1993. You can find his record and music on Dutch India Music. I'm going to spin that later on, but first we're going to hear the MP3 of the week from our friend Rob Sweeney. And this is the one I was telling you about, you guys. Again, that just makes our jaw drop because we have no idea where Robbie gets these things. We're referring to Rob Sweeney.
Sweeney dude.
Sweeney.
Robbie writes today, hello Lou, in the mid-60s from Hayes, Kansas comes the blue things. The beautiful jangling guitars ring like an oxymoron to the lyrics of Dollhouse, a song about a prostitute and the house she works at. Which is actually interesting. As I said, I did some research on the band. Time magazine were talking about, just vulgarities of songs back in rock and roll and made reference to this, which I thought was kind of funny how some sort of obscure band from a town called Hayes, Kansas becomes subjects to a Time magazine article talking about the no-nos of rock and roll, and this is back in '66.
Here's a funny little fact about kind of something online, and which is relevant because they're at your bar tomorrow. Is that did you know the Dayglow Abortions were the first band to be to go to Supreme Court for profanity?
Really?
I do remember that.
For two dogs effing.
Right.
In Canada?
Oh no, it was Hide the Hamster. Is it? No, in ever.
Oh, ever?
Yeah. And
wow.
They won. And Lloyd Robertson.
Lloyd Robertson.
He was a big champion of them, and I probably shouldn't reveal this, but he's a big homosexual.
Oh yeah.
Likes the young boys. Lloyd Robertson.
Or is
Trusted man
that
in
not a
news.
casual one? Like he's big on it.
Is he
Like he
Adrian
likes the like
Adonis?
he got into the lifestyle of the punk lifestyle in like the early 80s, late 70s, or whenever this was happening, 80s.
They're news
early
reporter.
80s.
Yeah, like the.
Yeah, okay.
The guy that did the CTV.
But he was
Evening
also
News.
homosexual.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but he's also homosexual.
Yeah, that's the only thing Manolis.
No, but it's like, but
What
he's
does it
big
matter?
on it. He's not just casual with it. He doesn't. He has to. He's
I don't think they just have asking that.
he's
No, he liked.
He was big on the punk scene and going.
He liked
out.
he liked the seedier side of the homosexual lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like the 80s bathhouse. Like he liked.
He knows what you mean.
Yeah. You know what I mean, mustache.
That mustache has been there before.
Yeah.
I'm
Folks,
not-
bathhouses, of course.
I'm not judging anybody.
He's got smaller
I'm not judging,
fingers.
but I just thought because you know. And here's a funny story that Murray from the Dayglows told me because we used to tour with him a lot.
Yeah.
Is that his dad was a military man and could not stand Murray's lifestyle. And Murray is also the Cretan from the Dayglows and couldn't stand his lifestyle, hated him, but he loved Lloyd Robertson. And he, his dad didn't like homosexuals, didn't like, any sort of counterculture, as we were saying before. And then, so when the Dayglows got taken to Supreme Court, Lloyd Robertson was like a huge champion. Like he was championing freedom of speech and all that stuff.
Right.
And then he became really good friends, so his dad was a little miffed, and his dad, I guess, would have been upset if he found out the lifestyle that Lloyd Robertson kept. Anyway, that's
What's going on?
Is he finding
here,
out
boy?
now?
What's that?
Is he going to find out right now? You mean?
I don't think Lloyd Robertson listens to Lose Control.
Okay.
Or Murray's dad. I think Murray's dad's probably gone by now. But
Let's send him a link.
yeah.
Send him a link to the
Hey, we
show.
outed you on Lose Control.
Folks, here's the MP3 of the week on 93.3 CFMU.
You want me to do that?
93.3 CFMU from Hayes, Kansas. The Blue Things. What a great name for a band, The Blue Things. And you heard a song called Dollhouse. That's from our friend Rob Sweeney, who gives us the MP3 of the week every Wednesday. Mr. Sweeney, thank you so much.
Training.
Yeah.
Here's the MP3 of the week, Shane.
Lord Rob Sweeney. He needs some sort of like a kind of a royal name.
Lord Rob Sweeney, Shane.
See, it fits well, doesn't it?
Or like, can we give him some sort of 30s gangster name?
Shotgun
ears.
Sweeney.
Shotgun's a good one.
Yeah.
Shotgun Sweeney. See, he's got the new
Oh,
tunes.
SS.
Oh, that's kind of good.
That was Anchorman. That was
I'm Ron Burgundy.
perfect, man. As I mentioned earlier on during the show, there's a gentleman in 1993 who released a song called "And Whatever Happened to Nash the Slash." This guy is known as an angry poet. If you listen to him, he is he's got that similar sort of Michael Stipe-ish sort of voice. He had a record released, "Blues for the Flying Dutchman," back in 1993, and he makes reference to Nash the Slash quite a bit here, as well as the New York Dolls and Armin Schabrick of House of Guitars. It is ready to go. So, music from Thomas Anderson here on 93.3 CFMU, song called "Whatever Happened to Nash the Slash," recorded in 1993.
Train.
.93.3 CFMU, music there from Thomas Anderson doing a song called "Whatever Happened to Nash the Slash," recorded back in 1993. 417 and change. Our good friend Gunner, Jamie Smith, asked us to share this. It's kind of an interesting study. Cobalt Connects is hosting a 5-day study that's happening here at MAC at 1280 Main Street West at the Psychology Complex. Volunteers needed in a study talking about what makes neighborhoods vibrant. I actually wrote what makes neighborhoods vibrate. I did. I'm such a moron. Makes neighborhoods vibrant. It's Express and Vibrancy Project. You can get more information. It's happening, I think, 5 days or 4 days next week. Call 905-777-0787 or
So is this a conference or it's a?
No, it's a study. You actually contact them, and if you want to be a person that takes part in the study, you get asked questions, and I guess there's different little exercises that you have to do. And,
Can we phone it as many times as we want and say,
No, you have to
Shows put on by Lou and Ben.
Yeah, you have to show up. Oh. Yeah, you have to actually go there. 1280 Main West. You take part in it, and then they get some sort of survey and data from this. I guess in their Expressing Vibrancy project, and you can get more information by contacting Gunnar at 905-777-0787 or info@expressinvibrancy.ca.
Why'd you open the door? It feels.
Why did I open the door? Why do you want to kill us?
Because you let a little spunk out of your butt there, bud.
Yeah, man.
Hey, champ. Because you let
what
it
happened
stink.
to Gavin?
Yeah. He moved. He liked the smell. He decided to sit behind you and after your little toot.
Yeah, this is not so bad. I don't mind it. This is good.
I found a Hamilton fact.
Okay, you're going to tell us.
Oh, and then we're going to check Tinder, right?
So our buddy George Pettit is going to be busy for 2 nights. He's DJing tomorrow night in support of the Reagan Youth Dayglow Show and the NASI, the St. Hollywood. And then Friday night, he's debuting his band, Dead Tired.
And we're going to get them in here. It just didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind, maybe doing a follow-up next week if we can. I still wanted to do this. I just wanted to really kind of do a tribute to Nash today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And what's his name? George texted me as well, so I said we would definitely hype his Friday night show. Who's on the bill at the Spice Factory?
TV Freaks,
cool.
Dead Tired, and
this has been
TV Freaks. Who is on the show?
This is what radio does for you, kids. Aren't you glad you're taking radio?
Maybe I hold it there longer. Who else? I'm sorry, guys.
We'll do some investigative studies.
Yeah, it's somebody really good too.
But anyways,
I want to say Nice Head, but it's not Nice Head.
Have you heard any songs? Doesn't he have a new band?
Who? George? Yeah, he does.
Have you heard any of the songs yet?
I haven't. I think they said they might have started recording this week, perhaps.
Cool. Have you?
No.
I'm
excited,
Friday. It's going to be good. And then, so there's going to be Fridays. What do you got Friday?
What do I have Friday night? Marissa Anderson, Richard Laviolette, Martin Verrill, and a band called, I can't say the proper name, Poop House, but it starts with an S.
Silk House?
If that's what, if that's what's coming,
Ship House,
yeah, it's sort of, yeah. But we'll probably be able to afford the proper consonant to, complete the name by the Friday. But they're playing Friday night. It's a long weekend.
What's the rule for stuff like that? Like
for what? Saying
so, like effed up. Like Champions band, great hardcore punk band or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you say?
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
No, I think you can. You just kind of pretend say it, but I don't even think you can spell it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
Loved Battlestar Galactica.
Like the newer one?
No.
Gavin?
Yeah.
You did, right?
Yes, I did.
They always said frack, which I thought was clever.
Yeah, they changed.
Oh, that's a cool word.
Battlestar Say the last part?
Galactica.
That was a hard word for me.
When we brought up Battlestar Galactica, Gavin got off the couch and came back to the conversation.
I like this guy.
Stuff, nerdy stuff.
No, I thought I was being asked a question, so I should be on mic.
Gavin's got a sweet T-shirt on today.
I love your T-shirt, man.
Oh, it's
Steve Zissou, right?
Yes. Well, it's supposed to be a life comedic. It's all everything he's done.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Lovely.
So, where's the goat? Oh, you got the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of.
Ben sporting the Absinthe T-shirt. Yeah. Manolis is sporting his what shirt?
Mustache. Dude.
Mustache.
Yeah,
mustache.
That's it. Nothing else. Mustache and jeans. Let's go into the swimming pool.
I like these Absinthe T-shirts.
I love those Absinthe. I kind of envy you guys in a way because look at how cool that is. That's such a no-brainer. I love it. It's great. It's a beautiful T-shirt.
And then Billy Pozag, our pal Billy Pozag's Peace, Love, Wasted. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Hamilton too.
Yeah, it's good.
Should have said Marco, Tina.
Yeah, Billy.
Lazarus.
He's a cute little guy.
I haven't seen him in a while, but I do see pictures of him.
Right.
On Facebook. 422, we're still going to continue spinning some music from Nash to Slash. As well, a little later, we're going to spin some music from a band called Drag the River, who are playing at the Absinthe Friday evening.
Yeah.
Who's on the bill?
The Zillies, The Great Machine, Drag the River, Johnny Lubera of Jersey. And we got a few guys coming up and just doing the acoustic sets. It's These Roots Volume 2, remember I did that These Roots thing? So this is the second one. But Drag the River is, it's Chad Price from All. Mm-hmm. You know the band All, Descendants and All? Yeah. So it's his other band, but it's a country band, and they're really good. But they're just doing it as a two-piece this Friday, and they're on the way out to Pooza Fest, so I was lucky enough to snag them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And for people who may not even know, who are fans of All, this is something that should definitely be up your alley.
We were trying to do the Film Age debut in Hamilton, but it didn't work out. Like they did Descendants in All movies, so we were going to have Descendants in All, or Chad Price play, and then do the new Descendants documentary, but that didn't work out. So it's just Drag the River, which is a great thing.
More music here from Nash Slash from an album that actually, okay, so this would have been the first record that he released that featured vocals. The first two were all instrumental. This is the record that was signed by Virgin Records. He went on tour in support of this record opening up for Gary Newman when Gary Newman had the big album Cars, or The Pleasure Principle with the big song Cars. He also ended up opening up a bunch of shows with Iggy Pop. There's a great video footage of Nash Slash interviewing Iggy Pop and Iggy Pop interviewing Nash Slash.
Is Nash in costume?
Yo, for sure. He is. Yeah. No, it was all set up. It was beautiful. And I think at this particular point of his career, he ended up opening up for The Who. Which is crazy. So anyways, from Children of the Night, here's the title track on 93.3 CFMU. CFMU, music there from Nash to Slash. From Children of the Night, you heard Children of the Night. One time available on Virgin Records. 429. We've been absent from this for a little couple of weeks because we really haven't had the four of us together to really sort of school you and
for us to appreciate this.
Yeah, we got back together.
Yeah. Manolis and his Hamilton fact. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, now tell us a little about the fact before you read it. What's this about?
It's about Hamilton.
Right.
Bill Irvin, I think, Irvine, was nice enough to tell me this fact. He gave me two, actually.
Which one are you going to read? The first one or the second one?
I'm feeling like I want to do two.
Oh. No, because you don't let the well run dry. Okay, we got a little bit of catching up to do.
Okay.
I can make another tweet next week.
Okay.
For more.
All right. So we're going to get spoiled.
He says Hamilton's the only major city with deer crossing signs within the city limits. Did you guys,
I've never noticed any. Where are there?
Hessville.
My facts are as far as Bill, so I don't know.
Okay. So say that again.
Okay. It's the only major city with deer crossing signs within the city limits. I have actually seen deer crossing signs.
Probably like Aberdeen, out by like where the golf course is and stuff like that. I bet there's some out there.
Probably in the east end of the brow, lower of the brow as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. Thanks, Bill. His son's in a band called...
Oh, you know this dude?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just drawing a blank now. I can't believe it.
His son, who's
Hey, speaking of Hess Village, I went for a meeting in Hess Village on Monday, and they have happy hour at Sizzle. We got 2 steak sandwiches, a noodle dish, 2 Caesars, like Caesars, like Caesar drinks, edamame and fried shrimp. Guess how much you think we paid?
Each or together?
For the table.
I'd say $50.
$25.
What?
Wow.
So, you know what? Hess Village needs the support. It is a good spot to eat and stuff in the day. Go check it out. Happy hour at Sizzle and Coy.
So it's like half price?
Why is it so, why that's
because it's so cheap, yeah.
That's an amazing price.
It's an amazing price.
All good food that you mentioned.
And it was good too,
Was the steak sandwich good?
Amazing.
Nice.
Super good.
Cool.
The fries were great too. So I just wanted to say that because I know Hess Village is having a hard time these days. You know, it's got a bit of a bad rap.
But enjoy the food.
But I mean, it's great. You know, that's great. There's some good eating spots in there.
And be courteous of the deer signs as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I was there the other day. There was deer like in Sizzle.
Eating.
They were like they're like
they were.
But you know how hard it is to eat a sandwich with like hooves.
Yeah.
$25 though.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, they figured it out. They're like, how can we not do screw our hoof hands? How can we not go to Sizzle and Koi for happy hour?
That's put my foot on the ground.
Yeah, that's what happened.
We'll figure this out.
I think it's funny that you hang out with deers.
Well, they were just there.
I was walking by.
You just
I see. Okay.
You can't miss
But they
deer.
still knew him. What's your second one, Manhole?
Apparently they're still on the law on the books that women need to be covered from wrist to neck all the way down through their ankles.
What? Say it again.
Fully covered women.
Like there's a law that on the books that apparently that women need to be covered from wrist to neck all the way down to their ankles.
In Hamilton.
On the books, I guess. Yeah, I guess there's
They just don't enforce it.
no, they don't enforce. Obviously, they don't enforce it.
Yeah.
People are getting stabbed. I don't think they're worried about this
Joey
law.
Balducci comes to the to the rescue.
What?
Dawn Before Descent. Thank you, Joey. Thank
For
you
what?
for listening. Bill Irvin's son, Dean.
Oh.
The band name is Dawn Before Descent.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Thanks, Joey. All right, on.
So, back to the women.
Women are supposed to have a lot of clothes on.
They're supposed to be fully dressed.
Now, who sent you that?
That did not work out for that
Well, they're
law.
breaking the law every day then.
Yeah,
That's a good law. to
Rebellious
break.
women. That's
a great
what
law
the
to
city's
break.
full of.
Hamilton girls.
4 men.
They certainly
asking about
wear less than
rebellious
that down on Barton, don't they, gentlemen?
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
That's where I get my wrestling dolls.
women. What restaurant are you referring to now?
What's the one? The Hamilton Strip?
Yeah, the Hamilton Strip. Actually, they've got a marquee that promotes.
$25.
I heard the food's
But
good there.
but they promote like their
$25.
you flip a
Beef's
coin whether
amazing.
if it for your meal.
What?
I think
it?
they have a day where you flip a coin to determine whether it's heads or loss, or heads or tails, whether you win or lose your meal.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they get?
So it's like getting potentially.
Yeah.
Do women? Because I remember like in the '90s when you'd go with more often with your buddies and someone would get one of those sandwiches.
I don't think
whatever.
I haven't been to a strip
Steak
club since I've been
sandwich?
married.
You get a steak sandwich, and then you're like, your buddy would be sitting on Pervert's Row with you, but then like he's trying to take it, and then the girl comes out with the blanket and like, remember the blanket? They
Oh yeah, they were gonna have a picnic.
Yeah,
The romantic dance.
the romantic dance.
Yeah,
and they
the
put out the
comforter
blanket,
song.
but all like the
The young
dust
adult
from
dance.
the stage it would go like into your face a bit.
I went a
Do
long
they
long
still
time
use the
ago.
blanket?
I went to a strip joint
I know.
many years ago, and
You know.
And the lady that was dancing was
Lady.
like, while she was dancing, she was complaining about how hungover she was from the night before. So she did all 3 of her songs laying on the carpet, including the 2 fast ones. So you know how you do the 2 fast ones where you jump and kind of slide
basically
down the
took a
pole?
nap.
So yeah, no, she was just kind of doing these stretches like, sorry guys, I'm really hungover. And she was rolling around even during the fast ones and slow ones, but she was kind of apologizing to everybody that
Was she attractive?
I can't remember. I just thought it was just so funny. We were there after a Jays
Can we
game.
do
went to
a
Toronto.
live broadcast, the Lose Control live broadcast from Hamilton Strip?
Let's ask Jamie Tennant. We're doing it for the art.
Are we?
Aren't we doing it for the art? We do this for the art.
Oh, we do it for the art.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like we were doing it for Art Crawl or something.
No,
like,
we'll do that.
Yeah.
For the art of performance.
Of dance.
The art of dance.
Like fame.
I'd be afraid to go in there.
By yourself?
Definitely by myself.
Yeah,
I can't do that kind
I
of
was
stuff.
there about 2-3
I can't
years
like
ago.
I can't look like even when I was single. I can't. I've never had a lap dance.
What's wrong? I'll give you one.
I know, like I've had a lap dance for like in relationships or whatever, but I've never had a lap dance at it. Like that would be far too awkward for me.
My problem. It's great, man.
I know it's safe to say that you've had a lap dance during your day.
It's the crazy part. No, because I hadn't gone for so long, and this guy talked me into going because he was like, I was working for him and he wanted to go. Like I was doing construction at the time.
How long did it take to talk you into it?
I said, "You want to go to the strip club?" I'm like, "Okay."
Deal.
But I knew it was. He was one of those guys like, "Oh, I haven't been here in months," and everybody was like, "Steve, hey, Steve."
Busy month.
How's the boat?
Right.
So, and he just looks at me. I'm like, "Yeah, you haven't been here in months, right, or years, or whatever." Dude.
funny.
So we sit down, and I think he gets a lap. He goes off with some girl for a lap dance, and I'm sitting there, and I'm pretty good at like, nah, no thank you, right? It's the only time we know what girls feel like, I think, but like because they're anyways.
I got you. That's an interesting thing to say.
I was laughing.
And he goes, and so this girl comes up to me, and she's just like 10 out of 10, like out of control. Like you're like, why you even this is like, you should be in Playboy. That's the thoughts in your head.
In your head.
In my head. And
You should be in something else that sells your body.
Yeah. You should be reading a book and going to university. I apologize.
Yeah, not the Manolis.
She's in a bikini at that point. What do you want me to think? I bet you could write nice poetry.
Come on, sit up straight.
She says,
Sit straight.
She goes, excuse me, and she goes like this. She goes, excuse me. I go, listen, okay. I just go, okay. She didn't even ask the question. I go, okay.
That's it.
That's it. She was that hot. I mean, that's why I don't want to go. I'm that weak where like, if the girl's hot
You'll
enough.
spend a lot of money.
Yeah. So she goes, So we go get the lap dance, and we do the first one. It's $20 a lap dance. We do the first one.
That's a lot.
I know.
That's a lot of money.
I know, and I said 40.
I don't even like spending that money on lap dances when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm like, that's a lot of money for a lap dance. Can we negotiate this? Like, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Let's talk about the math when we get. Okay, finish your story.
The first one. In my head, I was like 40, and that's all I'm gonna do. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
and I'm assuming she wasn't obeying the law. She was probably had less clothes on than what the Hamilton law dictates.
She was breaking it.
Oh yeah, I think I'm pretty sure she was naked. Yeah, like. And
so how many songs did she?
I just did 2, but after the first song,
I'm pretty sure she was naked.
I haven't done a lap dance for so long. She goes like this. She goes after the first song. She goes, "Do you know you're allowed to touch me, right?" Like I'm like, "What? Are you serious?"
So did you start?
I'll take 7 songs.
Are you Santa Claus?
So I had still got one more, but like now, this like she had the nicest set of eyes, and I the whole that song, I'm just feeling her boobs,
putting her makeup on.
But no. Okay, to me, it sounds like you spent like. Are we allowed to say blue?
Sure.
So it sounds like you just spent. Sure. Lou's just giving up.
He's just like, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
sure. You guys just gonna talk about whatever the hell you want. Anyway.
I'm here early tomorrow morning, anyways.
That sounds like you spent $40 to get to not reach climax, and then when you're. Testicles fill up with semen.
Yeah, so you basically...
you don't get to ejaculate.
I went home and did that.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it all worked out.
They give you a hammer to hit yourself. Hey, That's way you described how you were playing with the boobs is like you're making spaghetti.
Oh, my God.
Or pizza. Flip it. Continuing on with more music, if I may. For this
love her.
Here's more music from Nash to Slash. That's a funny story, man. That was good. 93.3 CFMU, music there from Nash to Slash featuring his band FM from Black Noise, a very iconic, important record to those who really enjoy the prog rock of Canada. Hailed as one of the best actually internationally as well. I was just, as I said earlier, just doing some research on different things, and I came across a prog site that I think from Italy, and they were talking about the importance of this particular record as it being a huge representation of Canadian prog rock, released back in 1977, 1978. Here's a funny story. It was owned by CBC because CBC actually put it out when the record came out. And I guess one of the guys in the band 25 years later, after their tenure had elapsed, went to get the masters. CBC didn't have it. So he went to the States hoping that the label that put it out or that took over all the stuff would have had it. And they didn't have it either. So when they re-released it on CD, they actually took it from a vinyl. They took it from the vinyl, so there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do that every day.
First of all, Manolis and Gavin, thank you so much for helping selling merch for Teenage Head Friday night.
That was fun.
It was a great night.
Cool. You know what I didn't know?
What didn't you know?
I didn't know how good of a singer Ben was.
Oh, Ben's a great singer.
That's right. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Job.
I have never...
It's funny. To say. Yeah.
It's funny because like it's one of these things like we all... around each other all the time. We all know each other, but we actually don't get to see each other perform our actual elements that often. And it was the first time I saw you sing, and I'm like,
Ben kills it all the time.
Yeah, but he's got. But,
thank you very much.
But I didn't know, like, because
you don't see him sing regularly. Mm-hmm. So I've never
smoking.
Him sing, so.
Smoking. You see me smoke regularly. Yeah, I'm good at smoking.
Same thing.
But I thought you were like,
I've seen a can attached to your hand a lot lately too. That piston head.
Yeah, you talk about punk so much. I just assumed that was going to be like more grainy, but I didn't expect you to have such a good singing voice.
Thanks. Well, that's nice to hear, man, because I was so nervous.
No, you killed it. It was great.
Man.
You were good on that show.
Buddy, you were on point.
Yeah, it was a fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great show.
And you did a fantastic job with Gordy Lewis Thursday night after the Teenage Head sound check.
Yeah.
With Greg Norrie doing a bit for a show
the show
to
we're
be featured.
On. Yeah.
And you just hit so many really highlights of the band, but what was really great about it is like even when you were talking about certain parts of the Teenage Head career that were so dark, you're able to tap into Gordy with Gordy just being able to be very focused as opposed to.
Oh, thanks. I was trying to keep it,
man.
I was trying to keep it light, and like I'm not light, but I wanted to comment on like the car accident and thing like that.
I texted you while you were in.
Yeah, I saw that after. I was like, that's also like it's a Teenage Head, man. Like you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
It's like so. I mean, I was really nervous about that interview, and then I was really, really nervous about like I didn't do anything. I wrote out the lyrics all day long. And then right before I was going on stage to play, like I'm like, why don't I know the lyrics? Like they all escaped me. It's like I was like in this one of these panic modes.
Did you channel Frank?
No. Yeah. Like it was just like because I just built myself up, Once and I hadn't been on stage in a while too, right? Because I don't really play as much.
No, it was great. The band got
and the gold record, man,
and awarded the gold. I found out
I got to be on stage for that moment. Thank you so much, Lou. By the way, thank you for letting me be a part of that. That was wonderful.
I thought it was great, and well deserved as well. Like I think the great thing about that whole night was just the experience of different demographics of fans enjoying Teenage Head. It doesn't matter whether it's Ben Rispin or David O'Connor of the TV Freaks.
He was amazing, dude. He killed it.
He's so good, man.
Dave destroyed it, man.
He's so good.
Fans of Teenage Head.
Oh yeah, and Max really stood out too.
Kerman did a great job. Everybody
Melissa?
did.
Yeah, everybody did.
Melissa Marchese nailed it. Ginger St. James, Buckshot, and Laurie and Houston. All of us did, I thought.
Yeah, you did great too.
Yeah.
All of us did a great job.
It was great. I was talking to the Hammer City folks at the punk rock flea market on Sunday.
How did that go?
It was decent, man.
Congrats,
it was good. I mean,
man.
Mother's Day was, hurt the turnout a bit, but it was good. Good vendors, good stuff. We're doing it again June 8th. Come on out.
Cool.
But I was talking to Hammer City folks, and they were saying, just thought it didn't really matter what band you came from or where everybody was so serious about the Teenage Head thing, and everybody did well. It was really nice. It wasn't about the person, individual singing. It was about Teenage Head, which was really,
it was so endearing.
It's crazy.
Let's talk about the show that you're hosting Friday night because we're going to say goodbye to everybody with a song by Drag the River soon. But I know that this is a show that definitely should be talked about.
Yeah, man. Drag the River. I had them a while ago, and nobody came. So you got to come to this one because they're going to think that Hamilton doesn't support them, and they're an amazing band. I mean, it's Chad Price from All, and John Snodgrass, who's worked with Chuck Reagan, Lucero, so many people. He's just one of those dudes that's right in that pipeline, and they're really some of the influencers, some of those first guys to kind of start that, that punk kind of country, even though they're not punk, but you know what I mean? I know
exactly.
That era, that Lucero kind of stuff, those guys who all used to be in punk bands, but now are kind of country bands, They're
taking more of the roots approach to it,
right?
And enjoying it, and they're doing.
They're not like cowpunk, like Super Suckers or something. They're legitimate.
Yeah, they're actually, they're
not that Super Suckers aren't legitimate.
They're
but you
more
know what I mean.
Pure in terms of being rootsy and acoustic.
Right.
I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
I'm telling jokes tonight.
Yeah.
Yucks.
Yeah.
Hamilton. Patrick Coppolino's emceeing starts. I think the show starts at 10 tonight for some reason.
How come? A hockey game, I bet you.
I don't know.
It's Game 7 of the Habs and the Bruins. That's what it is.
Oh, go Habs, go!
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
Hockey is it porn? I guess.
Yeah, porn.
Are you Habs or Bruins?
You know what? I'm staying neutral on this because I'd like to see a Canadian team win, but being from Oshawa, I've got such a huge admiration for the Bruins because the Oshawa Generals were like the Bruins franchise.
Right.
So Bobby Orr and Wayne Cashman.
But Hamilton's the Habs.
I know. I'm having a tough one on it. So the better team will win. That's all I'm saying.
You say that. I'm a politician.
I'm gonna also be at Kitchener Yuck Yucks Friday, Saturday.
Nice.
Telling jokes.
Cool.
That's my birthplace.
Really?
Kitchener.
I'll kiss the ground for you.
Yeah.
Cut the ribbon. Gavin, what are you doing this weekend?
Nothing. I got nothing going on this weekend.
It's the long
weekend for me.
Godzilla. Come to Godzilla.
Okay, I'll go.
When are you going to Godzilla?
I think a bunch of us are going to try to go to the 7 p.m. show.
Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, I've got Reagan Youth.
I can't go tomorrow because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at Reagan Youth. I'm sponsoring that stuff.
Yeah. So that's happening tomorrow night. Lots of cool things happening in the city, folks. You know the drill. So you pick up your View magazine. Our friend Rick Taylor writes a column called Hamilton Music Notes. You can also check out the calendar in the back of the magazine as well as Manolis' ad. Put that in. If you prefer the Hamilton Spectator, you can check out the Ghost section of your hard copy or visit Graham's work online by checking or hitting the What's On link through the spec.com. I Heart Hamilton as well as gunnersmith.ca for really cool blogs putting you in tune to all the cool things that are happening in the city, as well as visiting the Hamilton Music Scene Facebook page that has a lot of cool listings as well. We're going to spin some music as we say goodbye. One thing I do want to say, first of all, is there's a lot of Nash blogs and all different things related to stories about Nash this last. If you're a fan, you may just want to share some of your experiences. I haven't done so yet, but I think I'm ready to do so now. And again, thank you very much for being supportive and definitely giving us a green light to do this show this afternoon in tribute of Nash, and as well as Colin Brunton for taking time to talking us today. We're going to say goodbye by spinning some music from Drag the River, who you can see Friday night. And again, what time are the doors?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Yeah.
We'll be here next Wednesday, won't we?
Yes.
In the meantime, we'll see you at the shows. Take care, folks.